Good evening everyone. This video is going to be about a music genre which I quite like, and it's a concept which, a genre that's been thrown around quite a bit. A lot of bands and fans don't like to be associated with the label, but as everything, it becomes a way of categorising and showing a group of bands that have a certain characteristics. And genre which I've gotten into over the past few years that I really like is one called post-rock. Like I said, it was a concept that come out probably in the 90s, early 90s, for a group of bands that I don't really listen to, but a critic once put it across as it's rock instrumentation for non-rock purposes, which I think does make a lot of sense. It does away with normal song structure, as in verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, etc., stuff like that. Lyrical content as well. This band's trying to push the envelope progressively. That could also prog rock. It's taken influences from there. It's taken influences from jazz, classical, lots of other things. It's a mishmash, but ultimately it's using rock-based instruments such as drums, guitars, bass, and such things like that. Now, how I got into it initially, I mean, I've always been into rock, and I've gotten into metal, and I started to mellow out a bit, you know, in the last few years. I wanted something that was a bit softer. So, but basically, I started looking on YouTube, looking for new bands, and initially there was this band called ISIS which I really liked, and they got termed in the post-metal lot because they're essentially a metal band. They're heavy, a lot of shouting, but their songs are, you know, substantial length, like 6-7 minutes, a lot of them, so it's not commercial pop radio stuff. And I started looking for other similar bands, and it's got me into loads of stuff. A majority of it is actually instrumental. They've done away with lyrics because it's more about the emotion and evoking a sense of atmosphere, and that's what I like about it. They come up with some interesting titles as well, and that kind of sums up what the piece is meant to mean. Sometimes I've seen videos on YouTube where they put like a picture of a sunset or some other landscape, or occasionally architecture, and it kind of corresponds with the music quite well, I think. It's definitely one for longer attention spans, people who, you know, don't want a quick hit of a 3 to 4 minute song. So a couple of bands that I'm into, one of them, or two of them actually, are based in Texas. One's called This Will Destroy You, which I had the opportunity to see when they came abroad last year, and Explosions in the Sky. Now, so they can be branded as post-rock, but they're not. They're quite significantly different. Explosions in the Sky is much more sort of tingly, very pretty music. They're after kind of making musical scores for films that don't exist, although their music has been attributed to various things, like you might have heard them on Friday Night Lights, possibly. But a very good band. Again, they don't use vocalists, or they might use a few samples now and again, but they're very, very nice soundscapes. This Will Destroy You are much more abrasive in a lot of their music. They're trying to create this wall of sound, lots of delay, lots of reverb, creating a whirring effect on a lot of their songs. Really simple songs, most of them. It's about the rhythms and creating this unusual noise, which I quite like. Got a few others. You've got Caspian, that I've also seen. Russian Circles. They're only a 3-piece band, but they create a lot of good sounds using looping stations and various effects. Maybeshewill, which is a British based band. They use a lot more electronica, a lot of keyboard type stuff in their music. Again, I enjoy them. So really I'm just kind of giving you a broad overview and some, you know, some of my personal favourites. I can't really, for copyright's sake, play some for you, but you're on YouTube anyway, so just type in a few of these and you'll find them. I might put a few lists at the bottom of here of songs that I quite like and good examples that might get you into it. Other than that, that's basically it. I think maybe later on I'll do a few proper CD reviews on particular ones I like as I come across them. One final thing I'll mention regarding to the music, because it lacks lyrical content, a lot of the times I end up going online looking for what's inspired these particular records, and that's got me into a lot of other things, like they're finding out band influences through the books they read, other music they listen to, and that's the great thing about art, isn't it? Because you basically branch out and you can discover all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise. And with that point, I will leave you at that. So good evening.